Hello and welcome to this week's BizSmart Lunch and Learn webinar. Our weekly webinars are aimed to provide advice and share knowledge amongst business owners on key business topics and specialist areas. This is part of our service to our Smart Room members. If you are not already a member or a BizSmart client and would like to access our archive of webinars, then please visit our website biz-smart.co.uk and go to the Smart Room page. My host joining me today is BizSmart Select member Helen Davis from Coldicott Freelance Training. But before we start the webinar, can I ask you all to use the question mark function on your screen to post any questions that you may have for Helen, and she will do her best to answer them all at the end of the session. Thank you, Helen. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for taking some time out this lunchtime to learn a bit more about social media. What I aim to share with you this afternoon is how to choose the right social media channels for your business. What I find day to day, people are asking me during my business is that people aren't sure which channels to use, and so often what they're doing is using all the social media channels, particularly Facebook, because it's very popular and they think that everybody's on Facebook, so that they should be using it for their business. However, this takes a lot of time. If you're using the incorrect channels, it's wasted effort, and it's basically not reaching your customers. So my advice would be to focus on 2 or 3 channels that are completely geared at the demographics of your customers. So what we're going to be covering are, first of all, a few facts and figures around the different social media channels, how to choose the right channels for your business, and some of the demographics for the most popular social media channels. We'll also have a look at a little bit covering your social media goals as well, and starting to think about that so that you can create your own social media strategy. So why use social media for your business in the first place? This is an important question to ask. Usually I would get companies to have a think about why. So just on a blank piece of paper, write why in the middle of a sheet, or get everybody from the business sat around a table, think about why, what the benefits are to your business for using social media. So some of the main benefits are raising awareness of your business, promoting the range of products and services that you offer. You can highlight case studies and testimonials. You can use social media to persuade your customers and convince and convert that you're better than other people offering the same services. It's very cost effective, but only if you use it in a sort of strategized way and an efficient way. You can run targeted advertising. So for example, LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter all have advertising features that you can use, and you can be very specific about who you're trying to target. And it helps you get noticed at exhibitions and events. So these are just a few of the benefits of social media. Therefore, it's really important to think, well, what are the things that are important for us at this point in time for our business? So just a few statistics before we get on to the different social media channels. First of all, why bother in the first place? Well, 77% of the UK have home internet, so over 3/4 of UK homes have internet. 89% of the UK are active internet users. So with a UK population of over 64 million, that's 57 million people that potentially you could be targeting using online advertising or social media. Brits on average spend 2 hours 51 minutes online every day, according to the Internet Advertising Bureau and a survey that they carried out last year. And compared to watching television, that's 3 hours and 5 minutes a day. So the internet usage is fast catching up our TV watching. And on average, Brits spend £1,174 a year. So again, increasingly people are getting more and more confident with spending money online. And of course, that is just an average. So some people are spending a lot more money than that online, me being one of them, unfortunately, especially on the run up to Christmas. So lots and lots of reasons. So there's obviously people, the use of the internet is getting more and more all of the time, specifically with the use of mobile phones and just being able to Google any questions or services or goods that we wish to buy. All of that's available to us online. Increasingly it's going that way and off our high streets. So what social media do my customers use? If you're not certain at this point, an exercise that you could do is to think about, to list on an Excel spreadsheet or just an A4 sheet of paper, your top 20 or 50 customers down the left-hand side, and then make a tally chart, probably with the 6 main social media channels going along the top. So for example, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google+. If you're confused about any of these, you can ask questions and I'll try and answer these towards the end. And then basically run through those customer profiles, go to their website and see which social media that they're using. So just put a tick in the box and then you'll be able to tally up at the end, which are the most popular social media channels that your customers are using. So if you're really not sure, that's a really handy exercise for you to carry out. So those might be existing clients, but you could also do that, say, for your top 10 prospective clients and which social media they're using. And then also, you'll know that you're targeting your prospective customers on their social media channels. So, little tip there. What we're going to have a look at is some of the most popular social media channels and what the demographics look like for those. So if these look like your typical customer, so they're consumers, they're female, they're aged between 25 and 34, they're quite tech savvy, so they're on their mobiles or they're Googling or they're on I was going to say Facebook quite a lot of the time, then Facebook would be the key channel or the main social media channel that you should be using. So the female aged 25 to 34 demographic, there are actually 26% are in this female and 25 and aged 25 to 34, but actually over half of Facebook users are female. And if it's also consumers that you're looking for as well, then Facebook is the primary channel that you should be looking at using. So there's 1.5 billion users globally and 31 million users in the UK using Facebook. So you could say, well, there are 49% of males on there as well, and that this is also a good reason for me to use this for my business. But again, if you're really looking to focus on females and consumers, then definitely Facebook is the way to go. Okay, so that's Facebook. If your ideal customers look a bit like the people on the screen here, so they're male, they're older, so aged in the 35 plus bracket, and they're businesses, so you're selling business to business, then I don't know if anyone can guess which the social media channel would be for this one, but it's actually LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the largest free, up-to-date online professional directory with over 450 million profiles globally, 19 million in the UK, and that's grown by 4 million since 2015. So it's still growing quite rapidly, quite a strong hold it's got in terms of social media channels. And just one more, because I'm not going to go through every single social media channel, you'll be glad to know. So if these look like your typical customer, so again, consumers rather than businesses, female again, slightly older this time, and maybe a little bit more affluent than your typical Facebook user, then you should be looking at Pinterest. So for Pinterest, the most popular industries are home decor, holiday, so leisure and tourism, and also the wedding industry. So those are the 3 most popular industries for Pinterest. So if you're involved in any of those, then definitely Pinterest is the way to go. Pinterest, if you're not sure, basically works like a bit of a pin board where you can create different boards yourself and pin things that you're interested in. So you could search for, if you were a bride-to-be looking to organise her own wedding, you could create a board with all the wedding dresses on there and pin all your favourite styles or all your favourite venues. And for people that have that do use Pinterest, 88% have bought a product that they've pinned, and nearly half have bought more than 5 products that they've pinned. So it's definitely a way to go if this is your typical demographic of your customer. So there are a lot more social media channels that are available. For example, TripAdvisor. So if you're involved in leisure and tourism, then TripAdvisor is the way to go. YouTube is excellent for testimonials and demos, and the largest demographic for that are younger males. So again, if that's your typical customer, then YouTube might be the way to go. Instagram is very popular. There are 14 million users in the UK, so it's fast catching up with Twitter. However, the demographic for Instagram is that it's mainly 16 to 24-year-olds, so over a third are aged 16 to 24, and 64% are female, and particularly attractive visuals. So if you're selling beauty products or clothing, so you're in the fashion industry, those kind of things, then again, Instagram is a good way to go. There are over 300 million users worldwide. Twitter is a difficult one. Basically, it applies to business and business to consumer, and again, that's probably the third most popular social media channel there. Very good for brand awareness and getting retweets and sharing your products and services as well. So hopefully that gives you a bit more of an insight into the different channels there. So if you do sell to consumers, so if you're in any of the industries that you can see on the screen there, the main social media channels that you should probably be looking at are Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TripAdvisor, YouTube and Twitter. So not all of these. I would choose probably 2 to 3 maximum, and just make sure that you're focusing your efforts on those 2 to 3 channels. You don't want to be sort of posting on 9 or 10 different social media channels. Or if you're selling to businesses, so you might be involved in one of the industries that are involved on the screen now, then you should be looking at LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube and possibly Facebook as well. Okay, and just to summarise, so B2B, those are all of the ones. So generally speaking, most B2B businesses are using LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube and possibly Facebook, and then B2C, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TripAdvisor, YouTube and Twitter. However, with everything, there's always exceptions to the rules and crossovers and grey areas. So if you're still not sure, then please do ask me, and I will try and explain at the end or give you a pointer in the right direction. So once you've decided exactly which are the right channels to use, again, like I said, it's a good idea to actually be focused on a clear business aim. So again, if you choose maybe 1 or 2 business aims from this list, and then you can be very focused when you're posting on social media and making sure that you're pointing people in the right direction or creating the right kind of content to share with them. So these are the main reasons businesses use social media, and again, choose 2 to 3 of the most important ones that are important for your business at this time. You can always review these sort of 6 or 12 months down the line. And just as a summary, in terms of a social media strategy, again, choose your goal per channel, then decide what content you want to use per channel. It might vary per channel that you're using. Decide what the relevant or the correct frequency for each different social media channel is, and who the best person in the business is to update that social media channel, and then test it, measure it, and then improve it. So all of this, it sounds very simple in practice, and it is once you get organised and you've just got that strategy that's perhaps a one side of A4 with your social media channels down the left hand side, and then your objectives, content, frequency, and who's updating along the top. You can start to post things with confidence and know that you're sharing the right information, and you'll know that it's popular and that it's working if you're getting retweets or click-throughs or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So just as a little summary, Coldicott Freelance Training have been running for 6 years now. We're based in Worcester. And the ways that we help businesses are basically to help you write your own social media strategy, so what to post when and how often. We deliver training to staff that are using social media in their day-to-day work, and we also offer monthly coaching to implement marketing campaigns to promote product, services and events, or any special promotions you might have. So that's the social media talk for today. Have you got any questions that you'd like to ask?
Okay, thank you very much, Helen. You've got a couple of questions coming through. The first one is from Stuart, and he asks, I run a local accountancy firm. Which social media platform am I best to use?
Okay, in terms of if you've got your own accountancy business, Stuart, the best, I would definitely say LinkedIn would be your primary social media channel, and then possibly also using Twitter as well. The reason that I say these two is because if you know for definite your customers are CEOs within a particular region, you can do a search that will bring up CEOs or managing directors or financial directors within a particular area on LinkedIn. And you can also, with Twitter, if you're at any exhibitions or you're wanting to raise the profile of your company, you can post tips and advice or testimonials, those kind of things on Twitter to raise your profile. So definitely just those two I would recommend focusing on, and not to worry about things like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Those would be your two primary ones.
Okay, thank you. Next question is from Claire, and she asks, my business runs wedding venues. Which 3 channels are most suitable for me?
So for weddings, I would say, first of all, Pinterest, then Facebook, and possibly YouTube as well. So, and 3, it's difficult, maybe Instagram. So it depends what your typical demographic would be, but Pinterest definitely, brides-to-be use Pinterest so that they can start planning their own weddings. So there's a way that you can start posting things locally about your venue, weddings that have happened in the past. You can post any of the photos as long as you've got the right permissions from those brides, and obviously you don't post the photos before the weddings, the official photos have come in, so make sure that you get all of that sorted out beforehand. But if you do get the right permissions, you can post on Facebook and mention any of the brides-to-be so that they can share those with their congregation as well. And also YouTube or Instagram. So depending what your budget is, you can post lovely images on Instagram, or if you can, if you've got the budget at the moment, then you can post videos as well on YouTube for your venue. So any weddings that have actually happened, so people are seeing in situ what they can expect from your business.
Okay, thank you. You have another question from Paul, and he said, my customers tend to be older males. I'm not sure they use social media at all. How do I know they're on social media, and is it worthwhile?
Okay, so again, Paul, as I mentioned at the beginning, probably if you're not certain whether your customers are using social media in the first place, I would write a list of those businesses or a list of those people and check out their profiles. So you could search for them on LinkedIn, or you can search for their businesses in Google, and then follow from their website back to any social media channels that they might have. I would particularly be looking on LinkedIn and do a search on LinkedIn though for those business people. Most people that are involved in B2B businesses do have a LinkedIn profile these days. So I can see there's lots of other questions coming in as well.
We've got another one from Philip, and he asks, how does sharing images, videos and text compare to each other?
Okay, so it depends what kind of reaction that you're trying to get. So it's always good to share visuals, I would say, because you get a bigger space and you'll more readily catch people's attention if you're posting with an image or a video compared to text. However, with video as well, you also get the opportunity to see show something that's very natural that's happening. You can capture human emotion and things like that. With text, it's more your interpretation, unless you're sharing a testimonial or a quotation or something like that. And then so flat graphics are good. You can still post your sayings or quotations or testimonials in there. But if you post a photo, then that's going to have more impact again. So it depends what the photo's of, but if it's a photo of a person or your customers engaging in an activity, then that's going to work better than sort of a photo of an inanimate object, I suppose. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, yeah, you've got lots of questions coming through. So next one from Kevin. Not sure I spotted SlideShare on your summary slides. What do you think of SlideShare? Where is it best positioned?
If I'd have gone right to the end of my presentation, you'd see that I'm on SlideShare as well, Kevin. So it's particularly good if you naturally create PowerPoint presentations as part of your job. So if you're a consultant, or if you're a training advisor, or if you're a management consultant, for example, and you create PowerPoint presentations to explain a process, then it's it's natural that you can save those onto SlideShare, which has been bought out by LinkedIn, very popular, and it's basically like a database of all PowerPoint presentations there, and it's fabulous. So it's a great way to share, almost like a moving image, but that you can create very easily yourself on a very low budget, without having to pay for a videographer or a camera crew to be there and video you. So I love SlideShare. What I would say is always make sure that you're using the right keywords so that people find your SlideShare on there, and make your first slide very appealing to the eye, so that it catches people's attention. And also answering how do I, because a lot of people actually type into the Google search, how do I do X? And so if you're answering those questions, then you should be found for those things. I hope that answers your question, Kevin.
Perfect, thank you. Next question from Ellie. My company is a software and consultancy company. What social media platforms would you recommend?
Well, I've got a couple of clients that are also software and consultancy companies, and their primary social media channels are LinkedIn, again, because we can search exactly for the right job title of the person that's likely to buy that product, and we can specifically target them by job title, and start connecting with people on LinkedIn, but also Twitter. That's very popular B2B, as long as the software is a B2B. It depends if the software is B2B or B2C, but if it is B2B software, then LinkedIn and Twitter. If it's B2C, then you'd probably be looking at Facebook and Twitter. Those would be your two primary ones.
Okay, great. Next question from Steve. What is the right balance of social media posts? What is too much and what is too little?
Very good question, Steve. Really, it depends on the social media channel. So, for example, if you were blogging, you could blog as little as once a month on a regular basis. So it's sort of setting expectations for your customer. But with Twitter, if you only tweeted once a month, then you wouldn't get very many followers. So it depends which channel you're using. But with Twitter, you could be looking anywhere between 2 to 15 tweets a day, depending again, who your target audience is and the kind of stuff that you're posting. and if you're doing 30 tweets a day, then I'd say that's probably overkill. So it does depend very much on the social media channel and how much content you've got as well. So for a news channel, for example, that have got new things happening all the time, then they might tweet every 5 minutes or something like that. But if I was to tweet about social media every 5 minutes, I'm sure that people would get annoyed very quickly. So it depends, but there is a rule of thumb, and like I said, so for Twitter, anywhere between 2 and 15 tweets a day. Facebook, you might be looking at 2 posts a day on average. Pinterest, you could be looking at 10 pins a week. But these are all rule of thumb type things, and it would depend on your individual business. I hope that gives you a bit of an idea.
Okay, thank you. And then Ellie asks, how often would you recommend posting from a company on LinkedIn?
Okay, so it's the same again. It depends how much news you've got or how much fresh stuff that you've got to promote. So it could be anywhere between once a week once a week or once a month. What I would always say is start with less and then work up to more posts. What you don't want to do is sort of start with 10 posts a week, and then the next week it's down to 2 or something like that. So you want to try and keep it fairly regular and manageable. Okay,
thank you very much. Contact details there.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. And if you do have any other questions, then please do follow me on Twitter at Helen Coldicott, or connect with me on LinkedIn. So just search for Helen Davis, or you can Google social media training Worcester, and you should find me on Google search as well.
Lovely. Thank you again, Helen, for hosting today's webinar. I will be sending out a copy of Helen's presentation with her contact details on there all very shortly. But before we close, just a quick reminder, this webinar is part of our service to our Smart Room members. And if you're not already a member or a BizSmart client or would like to access our archive of webinars, then please visit our website, biz-smart.co.uk, and go to the Smart Room page. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you can join us next time.